Welcome back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Theories and Conspiracies. I'm Brian from Good Nerd Bad Nerd, and this week saw episode 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and this one was really focused on the relationship between S.H.I.E.L.D. and this new group, and what it's going to be like moving forward as they're both trying to track down Inhumans. We got a lot with Lincoln, but there was 3 things that really stood out to me this episode that are really kind of what I think we need to talk about. And first is the ATCU. I think it's pretty clear that this is going to be the Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of S.W.O.R.D. Now, S.W.O.R.D. is, I've talked about it in the past, it's the extraterrestrial version of S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.W.O.R.D. stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department. It's basically that. I mean, it protects Earth from aliens. They're the Men in Black. And S.W.O.R.D. is run by a character named Abigail Brand. And an interesting thing about this is S.W.O.R.D. made its debut in the comics in the Joss Whedon run of X-Men. So it would fit in nicely with this world that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is creating, except for the fact that it might not be allowed. Because it did make its debut in the X-Men, and because Abigail Brand technically is a human mutant alien hybrid, she's half human mutant, half alien, the rights to S.W.O.R.D. might not fall to Marvel and Disney. So, that being said, that is why they created the ATCU. And this department is going to be the one that is taking the place of S.W.O.R.D. S.W.O.R.D., really cool organization. Obviously, since they are working with aliens, they have a giant space station. They have a space station they call the Peak. It looks very much like a giant sword in space. So, they took that name very literally. The question here, though, is what is the relationship going to be with Coulson's S.H.I.E.L.D. and Price's ATCU? And I think what we're going to see is Coulson is going to has offered himself up, and he's going to play with his wording on that, and he's not going to give S.H.I.E.L.D. to Price to be used right away. But eventually she's going to demand it, and that's when Daisy and her new warriors are going to be a separate group. So all the Inhumans that they've recruited and are finally going to be S.H.I.E.L.D. ready are going to be branched off. And at the end of Season 2, we saw this folder that said Project Caterpillar. That's a reference to Daisy and her team, the New Warriors. They had a base, the Cocoon was its code name. But so we'll be seeing that team split off and keep doing what Daisy has been doing. So that's how all of that is going to shake out in this season, I think. Next, we have Jemma and the alien planet and what's going on there. So first, the alien planet. After doing as much digging on this as I can find, there are 2 options that I think really do fit with where she was. And they're both prison planets. And I think that fits with that death by punishment saying that we saw in episode 2. The first is the Stockade. Now, this isn't seen very at all in the comics, except it's where we first meet a character who was a part of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a character who goes by the name Charlie 27. He's a kind of a genetically modified human. He's huge. He was genetically modified to work on mining colonies on Jupiter. So he's in jail for some reason on this in the Stockade, and the Guardians free him, and that's when he joins the team. So that's one option, but I think the more likely option is a place called Anoval 14. It's a remote planet housing one of the most inescapable prisons in the galaxy. It's also known as the Anvil, and it's known to have housed some of the most dangerous and barbaric criminals in the galaxy. The planet it's on is seemingly lifeless and is notorious for bad weather. So it's very possible that could be where Jemma was, and the reason she wants to go back, that we get in that final moment, is maybe there's people there who helped her, or people there who left behind. We know people from Earth have been there, so it'll be interesting to see what was there, what was helping her survive, or maybe what was chasing her, and find out kind of that story. And now Jemma. There's some debate going on whether she's just suffering from PTSD or if there are other changes actually taking place. They said that after doing a full workup on her, that she should be fine. Biologically, she's fine. She's just suffering psychologically. But I don't know if that's totally true, because the way they were showing her react to sound is very different and very specific. So I'm guessing that she is starting to develop maybe some superhuman senses, things like that. Um, we don't have enough information to start naming characters that she could be a version of. But then there's also the fact that Jemma actually exists in the normal Marvel continuity. Pretty much the whole team was added, so it's doubtful that she's going to emerge as the MCU version of someone else, but I do think she is getting powers. So tell me what you think. What do you think about the ATCU being S.H.I.E.L.D., or sorry, being S.W.O.R.D.? What do you think about the options for the planet, and why is Jemma so intent on getting back there? And then lastly, is it PTSD, or is she developing abilities? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to get all of these videos. And I also do these for CW's Flash. So until next week, this has been Brian from Good Nerd Bad Nerd, and this has been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Theories and Conspiracies.